Welcome to the session of Python programming demo today, 6 to 7 p.m. Officially, we will start the session in another 1 minute. Okay. Now, before going to start the session, I wanted to demonstrate what the syllabus which we are going to cover for the next 40 to 45 days. Okay. Now, first let us go for the demo for a few minutes. Then I will send this information to institute, and the institute people will hand over the information to you. Okay, na? Clear? I will explain each and every syllabus point after the demo period. Okay, after completion of 7 to 8 demo, I will demonstrate and discuss about each and every part of syllabus. So it is the right time to start the demo. Shall we go ahead? Now I'm starting the demo directly. I hope everyone is okay. Welcome to the demo one. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, let me start my demo with the basic concepts. Okay. Now, before going to start my program, okay, I'll start my discussion with what is a program and what is an algorithm. Then I'll start my discussion. Okay. Now, for example, if you consider this information like this, okay, a program, if you consider this is a program, is called a set of instructions. Okay, let me change the pen. Yeah, a program is nothing but set of instructions, okay, written in either C language or C++ or Java or C#, or it may be a Python. Is it okay? Once again, I'm repeating. If I call a program is nothing but set of instructions, or also called a sequence of instructions written in any programming language. Now, to provide a computation, every program should provide a sort of computation. That's what I have discussed in the first statement. Look at here. A program is a sequence of instructions written using computer programming languages to perform a specific task by a computer. Okay. Now, actually, before going to the program, we are going to write a concept called algorithm. Okay. What is an algorithm? An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure how we are going to solve the problem. Okay. Once again, I'm repeating. An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to solve any problem. Okay. To solve any problem. Okay. Now, algorithm will be written in simple English terminology. Okay. Algorithm is a step-by-step procedure written in simple English. Okay. Whereas a program is a set of instructions written in a computer programming language. Now, if you ask me a question, what is the best way to write a program? Now look at here. An algorithm can be written in a finite set of well-defined instructions. Whatever the instructions I have written, now I can take 10 lines of code. LOC stands for lines of code. Okay. Some programs may written 10 lines. Some programs may take 100 lines of code. Okay. That is called as a finite set of well-defined instructions. Whatever the statements I'm writing, each and every statement will have an outcome. Okay. That's what I'm going to compare what is a program and algorithm before going to the Python. Now, some programming languages are compiled languages. Some programming languages are called as interpreted languages. Now, any questions in this slide? Anyone respond? If you don't have any questions, I will go to next slide. Yeah. Now you have joined in this course to become as a maybe a software developer or maybe software engineer or maybe a programmer. Okay. Now, if you ask me what are the two best qualities to become a programmer or software engineer, first one is problem solving. Okay. Now look at here. The single most skill for a computer scientist, you can call it as developer, engineer or programmer, is problem solving. Okay. Now, what are the characteristics the problem solving consisting of? Okay, look at here. The ability to formulate a problem. Okay, and think creatively about the solutions and express the solution in a clearly and accurate manner. I will teach all these things in the next 40 to 45 days course. Okay, now what is the meaning of ability to formulate a problem? I'll take a small problem before going to it. Okay, now we'll try to solve it only. Okay, now I'll take a small problem and I will discuss it. Please, I'll take a simple problem. Okay, I'll directly go to a problem. Can you please take this problem? I have taken a small problem. Now, I wanted to write a program that should generate 5 random numbers. Okay, my first requirement is I should generate 5 random numbers in between 0 or 1. Okay, that is my first requirement. Now, what is my second requirement? If my program generates 0, I should print a question mark. Now, third requirement is if my program generates 1, I should print asterisk. Okay. Now, this is called as problem formulation. Okay. Now, how I wanted to implement this through Python. Okay, please. Now, in Python, there is a library called random. Okay, this is a library called as random, which generates random numbers. Okay. Now my first requirement is I need to generate 5 random numbers. So I'm looking a loop called range of 5. Range of 5 is a function in Python which is going to generate 5 numbers starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it okay? Now, for is a loop. I'm running this loop for 5 times to generate. Now, how I'm going to generate random numbers? There is a function called random integer. I can generate either 0 or 1. Okay. Now, this is the job. Now, second condition, if I generate 0, if look at here, whatever the number I have generated, I have stored in a variable called as R. If R double equal to 0, I'm printing question mark. Else, I have to print question star. Is it okay? Like this. You have to understand the problem first. Okay, you have to understand the problem. This is the first and foremost characteristic of a software engineer. Shall I go back? Hello. Now let me go back and discuss what is problem solving. Ability to solve the formulate the problem and think creatively about. So now every problem, let me take a pen. Yeah, every problem can have n solutions. Okay, every problem can be implemented with n number of solutions. Now, if you ask me, sir, out of n number of solutions, which is the most optimal? Okay, the code which is having less number of code. Okay, less number of instruction, that we will call it as optimizer code for time being. And whatever the code which you are writing, it should be clearly and accurate for the persons, those who are want to read the code. Now, this is the first and foremost problem. And now, I'll tell you the second problem, what the software engineer must have. Look at here. Now, look at here, second one. In order to solve the problem, first of all, I need to define a problem. Okay, just now I had defined the problem with the 3 statements. Then we should analyze the problem in terms of what are the inputs for the problem, what is the output for the problem, and how I am going to formulate the problem. Okay, clear? Once again, I'm repeating. Whatever the problem you are taking, first of all, you should identify what will be the input and what will be the output. That's it. Then you should also identify what are the computation we need to perform. That is also called as formulas. Then we need to design a solution. This designing the solution can be represented in the form of algorithm. First of all, we are going to write them in a simple English terms. Once after writing algorithm, we are taking a programming language to implement it. I can take C, I can take Java, or I can take Python. Once I have completed the problem, I need to evaluate or test it. Okay, whether the problem is successfully working or not. Is it okay? Can you please respond? Any queries?
No, sir.
Yeah, let me go now. Slowly, I am entering into the second part. Now, as a software engineer, the second quality of software engineer is debugging. Now, we can write n number of lines of code. Okay. Whenever we compile or interpret the program, we will get errors. Okay. Okay. Look at here. Now, every program consisting of two different kinds of errors. First one is syntax errors. What is the meaning of syntax? For example, if I take a C language or Java or Python, every language has a syntax and semantics. Let me discuss syntax and semantics. Syntax means grammar, rules. Okay, we need to follow the rules. Syntax is nothing but rules, and semantics is nothing but meaning. Okay, now look at here. Programming errors are called as bugs. As a software engineer, first of all, what we should do, process of tracking the errors and correcting them. This process is called as debugging. If a programmer is good in debugging, and he can attain highest position in within 3 to 5 years. Okay, now there are two different kinds of errors. First one is syntax errors. If I'm not following a proper syntax of C language or Python, I will get syntax errors. What is a runtime errors? If I'm not writing program with a proper logic, I will get runtime errors. I will discuss both syntax errors, runtime errors in the coming sessions, please. Okay. Now, according to my knowledge, since 23 years I am at the teaching field, and out of 12 years I have worked as a consultant for various software companies. I will prefer every student must have the two properties. First one is problem solving, and second one is debugging. Okay. If you have these two qualities, you can get a very good job in the industry. Okay, now let me start my discussion with why we are gathered here. Okay, first of all, let me start what are the basic features of Python. Okay, once after giving what are the basic functionalities of Python, then I will get into the topic. Okay, shall I continue now? First and foremost point is Python is very simple and easy to learn. Once again, I'm repeating, learning Python is very simple, and if you compare with the C, Java, C will take minimum 2 months, Java will take minimum 3 months to get it. But Python will take just 15 days to 25 days to become master. That's what I'm saying. It is simple and easy language. I'll also tell you some important points. It is a beginner's language. It is a beginner's language. Earlier, we used to teach C language as a beginner's language. Nowadays, we are not teaching C language as a beginner's language. Okay, and it needed very less training to learn Python. Now, second point is Python is a general purpose and high level programming language. Whatever the language features consisting of C, Java, and C Sharp. Now, Python also has all these features. You can write any kind of project using Python. Okay. Now, next feature is portability. If I write a program in Windows, I can port my program into Linux. I can port my program into Mac. Okay. That means in any operating system, I can run my Python program. That is called as portability. Okay. Next one is object-oriented language. Now, in computer languages, C++, Java, C Sharp are called as object-oriented programming languages. Okay. Now, let me discuss about 2 minutes about a object-oriented programming. Then I'll go to next point. Okay. Now, let me discuss what is a object for few minutes. Object. Now, anything in the real world, anything in the real world is called as object. Is object. Now, it can be tangible or intangible. What is the meaning of tangible? We can touch. We can touch. Computer we can touch. Laptop we can touch. Okay. Tab we can touch. Phone we can touch. And what is intangible? Intangible. We cannot touch. Now, every object possesses three characteristics. First one is identity. Identity, state, and behavior. Okay. For example, every student will have a name that is called as identity, student name. Every student has some attributes. State is nothing but it will be represented in the form of attributes. What is the meaning of attribute? Height of a student, weight of a student, and color of a student, which class he is doing, and these are called as attribute. What is the behavior? Now, if the student is reading, if the student is writing, or if the student is playing, are called as behaviors of the object. Is it okay? Now, Python is also fully object-oriented language like C++ and Java. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. Now next one is interpreted language. Now, if you take C language is a compiled language. Compiled. Whenever I compile the program, I will get dot executable file. What is the meaning of dot executable file? That means I can directly run the program. Now, if you take Java is both compiled as well as interpreted language. Now, first of all, if anyone doesn't know about what is compiler and interpreter, shall I have a half 30 seconds? Now, let us take a small thing. Now, if you take a set of instructions, if I compile the program, now what the compiler will do, it will read the entire program and produces output. It produces output after reading all instructions. That is called as compiler. Whereas what is the interpreter? Every statement output I can get it. Okay, what is the meaning of interpreter is I will read each and every statement and I produce output. That is called as interpreter. Python is a interpreted language. Any questions until now? Now, next one is Python supports 100 plus standard libraries. I'll tell you what are the standard libraries. First of all, there is a library called NumPy. It is used for numerical applications. I can write any kind of mathematics. Okay, numerical Python. Using this numerical Python, I can implement any kind of mathematics. Okay, like linear algebra, statistics, anything. Okay. I have one more library called Pandas. Pandas is a library used for data analysis. Data analysis. Okay. There is another library called Matplotlib. This is used for data visualization. Okay. Now, there is another library called as scikit-learn. This is used for machine learning applications. Okay, like that. Python supports 100 plus standard libraries. Now, once if you are good in Python, you can develop any kind of applications like machine learning, deep learning, IoT, web applications, any kind of applications you can develop. Okay. Now, next one is graphical user interface program. It has a library called TCL-TK. Okay. Using this library, we can write any kind of graphical user interface programming. Okay. Any queries, Andy? Can you please respond? Now, next one is supports databases. Now, what is a database? Now, like most of your people has heard about Oracle or SQL Server or DB2 or MySQL or MS Access. Simple. In MS Office, you will have a tool called MS Access where we will store the data where we will store data in the form of tables. In the form of tables. Through my Python program, I can connect to any of the databases. I can connect to Oracle. I can connect to SQL Server. Oracle from Oracle Corporation. SQL Server is from Microsoft. DB2 is from IBM. MySQL is an open source software. MS Access is Microsoft Access. Okay, you can connect 100+ databases using Python. Clear? Now, if it is okay, I'll go to the next point. Now, next one is dynamically typed language. Now, let me tell a small thing. For example, in C language, if I want to create a variable, what are the follows I need to follow? Data type, then variable name is equal to value. Okay, I'll tell you what is this. For example, if I want to store numbers, like the data type is called as integer. Variable name equal to a is equal to 100. Where 100 is called as value, that we are storing in a is called as location in the memory. And what kind of variable it is? Integer variable. In C language, you should also specify storage location. Whereas in Python, storage location means where exactly you are storing this location. Is it in the memory, or is it in the register, is it in the RAM, and so on. Now, in Python, no need to specify the storage location, no need to specify the data type. That's it. Very simple. You store any value in any variable. That's it. Now, what will happen if you store here? It internally create an object called int object in the memory. And within open brackets and closure brackets, it is going to store a equal to 100. Okay. Now, for every variable, it is going to create a 16-digit unique ID. Okay. Clear? Now, for example, if I want to store real numbers like 1000.50, A2 is equal to, that is called as float. Like this. Without specifying the data type and storage location, simply I can, that is called as it is a dynamically typed language. Clear? Any questions in this point? If you don't have any queries, now let me discuss about 5 minutes about the next point, open source. Now, every time the software can be divided into proprietary software, okay, and free and open source software. Open source. Now, like Microsoft products like Microsoft Windows and Microsoft Office, these two are called as proprietary software, because if I want to use Windows or Office, I need to buy the software by paying maybe 10,000 or maybe 20,000. Whenever I pay 10,000 and 20,000, he will give only one license to me. He will give only one license. That means this license can be used for only one computer. Can I use this software for another second computer? It is not possible. It is not possible because it has a copyright protection. Clear? Now, if you look up at free and open source software like Linux or Ubuntu or OpenOffice or LibreOffice, they are free. No need to buy. No need to buy. You can use this software by n number of people. Now, what kind of copy left protection? Here we have copy left protection. Why I'm speaking all these nonsense? Because Python is a free and open source software. Okay, you can download the software for free and you can use it and you can distribute it to your friends. No need to take permission from the proprietary software. So it is an open source software. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, can I continue? Any queries in this point, Andy, regarding what is the open source software? Can you please respond? Yeah. Now I wanted to clear this, and I want to discuss one more important point called if I use Python, then what is the another advantage what we will get? It is reduced development time. Reduced development time. Now, what is reduced development time? Means the Python code is always 2 to 10 times shorter. Look at here carefully. 2 to 10 times shorter than C, C++ or Java. What is the meaning of that? If I write a program, in C, it may take 10 lines. Same thing, if I write in Java, it may take 8 lines. In same thing in Python, it will be completed within 3 to 4 lines. That's what I will say. Okay, that means within less number of lines of code, I can implement my application. That is called as a reduced development time. I hope it is clear for everyone. Any questions? Any queries? For example, let me look at here. I have already good in C language. I have already written 10,000 lines of code. 10,000 lines of code. If you want to port this C language into Python, actually speaking, no need to write new code. No need to write new code. Let it be the C code. I will write a Python program with a library called Python. I will use a connector called Python. From my Python, I can connect to your C language. So no need to write this 10,000 lines of code. Directly, I can call my Python program through C. Okay. For example, I have already written 10,000 lines of code in Java. How can I connect from my Python program? There is a library called Jython. Like that, you have so many middle softwares to convert to talk to Python to C, to talk to Python to Java. Is it okay? These are called as the basic features of Python. Now, most of the people in the demos, they are asking what I can achieve with Python. What will be the next step? Okay. Once if you are good in Python, you can go to a machine learning area. Okay. Machine learning engineer. Okay. Now you can also write, you can also go for web developer. Now you can ask one question, sir, how can we become web developer? Because Python supports two libraries like Flask and Django. These are the two libraries. By using these two libraries, I can go for web development. Okay. And if I know the Python, I can also become IoT specialist, Internet of Things. Okay. If I want to speak with hardware devices, if I want to speak with my hardware devices through my Python program, how can I connect my Python program to each and every hardware device? Okay. Earlier, we used to use C language, maybe 20 to 30 years back to like last 5 years. Nowadays, no one is using Python. Everyone is using Python to talk to hardwares or sensors. Clear? And you can do data scientist. There are n number of ways you can go. Okay, na? Now, any queries Sandy regarding the features of Python? Can you please respond? Yeah. Now, let me go to, first of all, before starting my session, I will remember who has written that Python programming language. The person who is called as Guido van Rossum. He invented the Python language. Okay. He's still alive one day. Okay. Please don't think that he is no more. Still they are developing new languages. Python. Now the current version of Python is 3.x 3.11. Now he is developing 4.0 version right now. Okay, now once we get Python 4.0 version, we'll get a LCNC. What is the meaning of LCNC? Low code, no code. That means without writing many lines of code, you can develop your application. That is the beauty of next version which is coming up, but we don't know when it will come, okay, into the market. Now, shall I continue? Now, I hope any queries, Andy? Now, if you have any queries in the topics which I have discussed since 20 minutes, I will be very happy to answer. Any queries? Can you please respond? Yeah. So shall I continue? Now. For example, whatever the new programming language which we are learning, first of all, we should know the basic building blocks of that language. Basic building blocks. What is the meaning of basic building blocks? Here, no, everything is true. Can you please, can I get that message once again from Srivalli? Can you please respond? No, everything is true. Can I know, can you please unmute yourself and speak, Amma? Srivalli. What about that message? You need any explanation? Hello? Srivalli, can you please? Yeah, otherwise I'll continue. Now, if you take any programming language, first of all, you should know identifiers. Then variables. Then data types. Operators. Conditions. Loops. Files. Data structures. Okay. If you know these things, you can develop any kind of program. Okay. So today I'm starting the first concept called as identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but naming conventions. Naming conventions. How can I name my computer data? Okay, look at here. Identifiers are names used to identify an object such as a variable, maybe a module, a class, or a function. What are the basic rules of identifiers? Okay, the first character must be either uppercase or lowercase or underscore. If I am naming my program as ABC, the first character must be either uppercase or lowercase or underscore. I cannot start with digit. Okay, once again I'm repeating. While using naming conventions, the first character always must be either uppercase or lowercase, or I can also use underscore. But I cannot start with digits from 0 to 9. I cannot. Okay, this is about first point. Second point is I can write any long sequence of characters. In Windows, we'll take 8 characters. In Linux, we can take up to 64 characters. Whereas in Python, you can use any long sequence of characters to provide a name. Okay. Third one is you cannot use special characters like exclamatory mark, ampersand, hash, dollar, comma, full stop, and so on. I cannot use special characters. Okay. Now, keywords should not be used. Just now in the previous slides, I told that every language has a few keywords. Every keyword has a sort of a syntax. You should follow them. Okay. Then finally, very important point is very important point. Python is case sensitive. Either I can use uppercase or lowercase. Both are different. Yeah. Thank you. I can use, listen carefully, and uppercase is different and lowercase is different. Some programming languages, they will treat upper and lower as same. Okay. Now, I'll ask some questions. Can you please respond? Now, for every slide from today onwards, I will use some MCQs. Can you please answer me whether these questions are correct or not? Identify valid or invalid identifiers. Can you please respond? Now, AB100, is it valid or not? AB100. The first character is either uppercase, lowercase, so this is valid. Okay. Now, Now I'm writing with underscore. Underscore is also valid according to the rules which we have given in the previous slide. Now underscore ABC, it is also valid. Now can you please tell me 100, is it valid identifier?
Not
It is
valid.
invalid. Yes, it is invalid. Now A plus B, I cannot use special characters. It is also invalid. Yes. Now for is a keyword in programming language, any programming language, so this is also called as invalid. Okay. So shall we test it with a computer program? Shall we test it with the program? Now whether they are valid or not. In order to check them, we have a function. Now we have a function called isIdentifier. IsIdentifier is going to return either true, true means valid, or false. False means it is invalid. Okay. Shall I go and demonstrate? Now, before going to the next slide, can you please answer this question? Then I'll go to the programming concept. Can you please respond this slide? What will be the maximum possible length of identifiers? I already told you identifiers can be of any length. So the answer is D. Clear for you? Now, yeah. Now, can you please tell me what is the answer for this question? Which is the following invalid identifier? Following
B.
invalid identifier. Yes, it is B because it has started with number
Numeric.
1. Yeah. Shall we demonstrate whatever I have discussed till now using Python interpreter? Now, just
Yes.
give me 1 minute. Yeah, just a minute. Now, let us check here whether they are valid or not. Just a minute. I will tell you just a minute. Let me open that file. Mostly tomorrow I'll tell you how to download the software and how to work with this software. Okay, whatever the software I'm using, this is called as Anaconda software. Okay, within Anaconda I have n number of IDEs, one such kind of IDE which I'm using right now. Okay, please now look at here carefully. Now here, now if I want to print anything onto the console, I will use a function called print function. Okay, print is a function which is used to print anything onto the console. Here I'm giving either single quotes or I can use double quotes. This is called as string. Okay, string is a group of characters. Now this will be printed. Now can you please tell me, look at here, underscore is identifier. Can you please tell me, is it true or false?
True.
Now 99 is identifier is false.
False.
So let me run this and show you. Just a minute. Now look at here. This is a cell. Every line is a cell. I can write one or more lines by specifying the spaces. Now just simply click on run here. Look at here. Every line output I can see is identifier true. 99 is identifier. It is false. I hope it is clear for you. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if you are clear with identifiers, now I will start next concept called variables. Okay. Now, in the previous 2 slides back, I told like this: a equal to 100. Okay, now 100 is called as value. Now, where I'm going to store this value in the memory. Okay, in the memory. Memory can be either RAM or maybe a register or maybe a heap. Okay. Now every memory will have its own address mechanism. So look at here, this A is called as variable. In this variable I'm storing in this location, that is called, look at here, variables are reserved memory locations to store values. Look at here, once again I'm repeating, A is a variable which is storing the value of 100. Variables are reserved memory locations that are used for storing the values. Now, when we create a variable, we reserve some space in the memory. I already told you, na, whenever we create this variable, it is going to create a int object. Open brackets, close brackets, a equal to 100. That's it. Now, Python variables do not need a reservation of memory. That means no need to specify the data type like integer, not required. In C, C++, Java, you have to specify the data type. Now, the beauty in happen, now you can ask one question, sir, how it is happening? How the variable can be considered as integer? Now look at here, the declaration happens automatically. Now look at here, whenever I'm declaring a value, the declaration happens automatically when you assign a value to the variable. Here, what operator I'm using simply called as equal to operator. Okay, now I will discuss a small code snippet in the next slide. Just look at here carefully. Now look at here, what I'm doing. Variable 1 equal to 100. 100 is called as integer that I'm storing in a variable called as variable 1. Okay, now if I want to print the value, I will use a print of variable 1. Okay, now I'm using a function called type. Type is a function which returns the data type of that object. Now look at here, type of variable 1, which is going to print class comma integer. What is the meaning of this concept? 100 is a integer type. Then here 1000.0 is called as floating point. In English terms, we are called as real numbers. Okay, for example, if I want to display salary of a person, 15,000.50, this is called as real numbers. In computer technology, we'll call it as floats. Okay, here I'm storing 1000.0 float in a variable called as variable 2. Okay, if I want to know the data type of this one, what I will do is type of variable 2. Okay, then this is called a string. A string is nothing but a group of characters. Group of characters. Now, this group of characters I'm storing in a variable called as variable 3. Now, let me demonstrate this and show you. Just a minute. Yes, give me 1 minute. Let me go to Jupyter Notebook. Yeah, look at carefully. Now, first of all, I'm taking a variable called as variable 1 equal to 100. I'm storing 100 in this variable. Now, print of variable 1, it is going to print as 100. Now, let me run this. Look at here. It is running and it is showing 100 is an integer and it is a data type of class type integer. Now, I'm taking one more variable value called 1000.06. It is called as float. Now, look at here. Either you can use print function or directly you can use the variable, you will get it. Now look at here, float is a type of object. Okay, now in Python, either I can use single quotes or double quote to declare a string. A string is called as group of characters. Now like this, I can declare variables onto the values. Clear? Now I can also store a single value in multiple variables. Look at here. Now X will get 10. Can't see the screen. Can't see, everyone can't you see the screen, Andy? Can you please respond?
I can able to see.
Yes, but somebody is saying that yes. I have already shared the screen, Andy, please. Now I can see the value 10 into the three values. Now X will be 10, Y will be 10, and Z will be 10. Is it okay? Now, one more new concept I'm saying, look at here, this is no language has this. Now I can store multiple values. 10 will be stored in X, 25.5 is a float I'm storing in Y, and Python is a string I'm storing in Z. Now X means 10, Y means 25.5, and Z means Python. Got it? Can you please respond? Now let me run them. Just a minute. Look at here. Here, if I want to print multiple values, I should give comma. Okay, now look at here. I'm taking multiple values I'm printing. Now I'll ask one question. Can you please respond? Now If I run this statement, what will become output? N, print of N. Just guess what will be the output of this one. Okay, can you please
No
respond?
value. No value is declared.
Still guess more. Still, I need more guesses. Still, I need more
Means
guesses.
you throw errors.
Huh? It is error only.
You throw
It
errors.
is error. It is error. Now look at here. What kind of error it is giving? As a programmer, you should identify what kind of error it is. Can you please tell me why I'm getting name error? Because I already told you now, you have to initialize. Okay, you have to initialize a value. Now I will initialize some value 100. Now I will run this. Now look at here. Then what will happen? Now I'm initializing equal to 100. Now if I run this, what is happening? Then now there is no error. Because can you please tell me the reason? Without initializing a value cannot be used. Okay, if I use it, it will give an error called name error. That means the memory doesn't know this variable is. Clear? I hope it is clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Now instead of going a little bit faster, now next 10 minutes I will discuss about the what kind of syllabus I'm going to teach for the next 45 minutes. Sorry, next 45 days. Now let me increase the font. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone. Shall I go ahead now?
Yes.
Yeah, let me discuss and demonstrate. Now here the syllabus consisting of core Python as well as object oriented Python. Basics of algorithm, pseudocode program, programming language, compiler, interpreter, then introduction to Python. Tomorrow I'll discuss about this, how to install the software, what is identifier, variables. Then in the coming days we'll discuss about and conditions and loops. Now these are called as data structures only. Please, whatever the points I'm thinking now, string, list, tuple, dictionary, sets, these are called as data structures. Now if you are good in this data structure, directly you can get a Python programming job, Python programmer. Okay, clear? These are very important things. Then functions, built-in functions, all these things will comes under core Python. Now I will stop, I will wait here for 1 minute. Now then slowly I'm going for advanced concept. Now look at here. Now these are my advanced concept: collections, file operation, regular working with the databases, working with Excel, HTML data, XML data, PDF data, and so on. Now this is called as a little bit advanced part, and this part will be called as object oriented Python. Okay, and these three are called as machine learning things, like NumPy used for numerical applications, statistics using NumPy, data manipulation using pandas. Is it okay? These are called as more advanced concepts of Python.